Show me that belly, baby.
I'm gonna be.
It's gonna be in your arms in a bit.
It's crazy, right? Like to think that this is like. Hi folks, we're Sophie and Filipe, two professional chefs and regenerative farmers, on a mission to empower people to grow, cook and preserve nutrient-dense, regeneratively grown, delicious food. We bring you how-to recipes, stories that bridge the gap between the land and our plates, sprinkled with a pinch of humor and lots of grit. After a wildfire burned down much of our farm, and with a baby on the way, we're working hard to rebuild our lives. Join us for some honest cooking, regenerative living, and fun farm-to-table courses and retreats. He's here. I'm just very happy, over the moon. He arrived a little late, and we were eagerly awaiting his arrival. So we thought it would be fun to share the story with you. The birth story. I found after all my births, I always love talking about the birth story, so I'm gonna try to keep it contained. Otherwise, you know me, it's gonna be
Say 2 days.
a very long, like detailed, graphic story. No. So yeah, let's talk about sort of the leading up to birth first. So because he was due on the 29th and he arrived on the 5th, you start going over your due date, and I had put all my money on one day earlier. And I think he should have arrived that day because he came out nice and dry. So he was definitely a little bit overcooked in the oven. And yeah, around the due date, I did have a few evenings where I felt like this might be starting. So I sort of had sounded a false alarm, if you will, twice. And I told Filipe in the bedroom at night when we were lying there, like, oh, maybe it's gonna start, but they feel slightly different, these contractions, than normal. So, and then they would just pass again. So probably it was just a bloated gut, or I'm not 100% sure what it was, but it wasn't actual false labor. So yeah, then we went the day of his birth. We actually went with the family to the beach, and we went kiting. So the kids were running kites and stuff. It was a really joyous event. Lots of endorphin was released. Lots of running was done, also by me, which might have helped. And then when I was in the cafe with the kids, I started feeling some contractions, and then I thought, this is the feeling of the contractions that I remember. But then I still felt, for some reason, I can't really explain why, but I think because I sort of unnerved you twice already, I felt like I need to be really sure about this now, that this is actually happening. So I just zipped it and just went through the contractions for the first hour and a half, sort of silently. Nobody was aware. So we drove home, and then I started cooking dinner. Which I didn't do any of the days. Basically, Filipe has been doing all of the cooking, but for some reason I was like, I will cook dinner as well. If I'm going into labor, why not add another job on top? So then I was like halfway through cooking dinner, and then I thought to myself, now I need to tell somebody, because otherwise we'll be having this baby on the floor here and nothing will be prepared. So then I turned around and I said, I sort of casually said, like, I think we're gonna probably have a baby tonight. And then that was, and I thought your reaction was really funny, because you were just like, what? Yeah.
I was not expecting that, because you didn't have told me nothing first, and then suddenly you come like, I think we're gonna have the baby right now. And I'm thinking like, what? Shouldn't he come with warning, let's say, a few hours before he started to feel it? But and we were cooking dinner, you're cooking a soup, so I thought like, okay, I gotta start and run. That was not the case. I had everything prepared, so
exactly, we were well prepared.
I just got up, grabbed my glass of wine, went to fill up the swimming pool with the water, light up the candles, put all the towels, warm up the room.
Yeah.
And
you made a nice fire.
Made a fire.
First we called the midwife. To sort of tell her like that it was happening, because it was already happening for an hour and a half, right? She then asked like how far are the contractions apart. I hadn't timed them, so I was like guesstimating that it was like 7 minutes or something like that, 7. And then she was like, okay, call me again in an hour and then we'll see how things go. And then I think as soon as Filipe hung up, it just started becoming much more, rhythmical. So I drew a bath, just a normal bath. And then when I was in there, I started flipping around with this app to time the contractions, which then every time I went into a contraction, I didn't remember to put on the app. So then I was like, at some point I was like, F this app, this needs to go away. I'm just going to go with the flow here. But then I realized like they are quite close together. So they're about like, I don't know, 4 minutes apart or something. So then I immediately said to Filipe, because he saw me as well, and he said like, are you sure you don't want to, shouldn't we call her back and say that she should just come now, because she was still about an hour's drive away. So then we did that, called her like 5 minutes later, like, no, don't wait an hour, just pack your bags and come on over. And then when I got out of the bath, yeah, you had already set up everything so beautifully, and everything was very, yeah, romantic. Is that the weird word to use? I don't know. Yeah, so it was really nice. Like, it was in the evening as well. The other girls are all born in the daytime, basically in the morning. So I knew that it was going to be like an evening affair, and yeah, then just contractions started getting a little more intense, and you were such a great support. You were doing the whole, you know, a lot of people like a lot of pressure, but Filipe I always said like, you just gotta like almost not touch me, but touch me very lightly, and that's sort of nice massage technique that I enjoy. So then I just went through it, and then yeah, I got into my tribal Mother Earth vibe of just humming through these contractions. Which is a really nice way, like I really like sort of, you know, with the vibration of your voice, just sort of taking them in and letting it wave over you or wash over you, if you will. And then you put water in there. We had a little accident. You want to talk about the water accident?
Yeah, just the hose came out of the bed and suddenly there was water all over the floor. So half of the towels for the bird, they became floor dryers, and suddenly we had like 20 towels on the floor, tried to dry the carpets. But it was okay, no problem. Lottie was here with us, always right hand Lottie.
Yeah.
She helped us with that.
Thanks a lot.
That was it.
Yeah, it made me laugh because I arrived and it was like, it happened just before I arrived into the room. So there was like, she was on her all fours, just sort of trying to get everything dry again. And I just had this flash in my mind of all those movies where it's like, there's about to be a baby, everybody get hot water and clean towels. And I just saw this massive pile of clean towels just being made dirty right before birth. So it's just like, I don't know, it was funny, ironic. Yeah, and then so I went into the bath really quite quickly, into the pool, because
yeah,
it was
not
filled up.
Full yet.
No, it wasn't filled up when I went in. Yeah. And then Filipe was really sweet, because when you're hanging over these pools, they sort of smell like plastic, so it's not really nice. So I was complaining about that, as you do, you know, you complain. And then Filipe really kindly put like a nice little towel with lavender oil, essential oil, so it was like nice. I was in a flower garden all of a sudden instead of this plastic pool. And yeah, and then it went really quick. And I remember thinking, which I didn't feel with the past births, because I felt like it was very, you know, easy to sort of transition into these dilation contractions and then the expulsion ones, which are very intense. And I felt like in the last 5-6 contractions, I was really feeling it, because he's huge compared to the girls. He's much bigger and his head is very big. So I've really felt a lot of pressure. And I remember at some point really thinking like, now you got to come out. Like, I don't know if I can do this for many more hours. So I think it was like, once I had that feeling, 4 pushes later, like I pushed 4 times. Then he came out, and then I was so euphoric, because I just felt like, especially like only when the head was out, I was really like, okay, I'm happy that this is it, because I know the next contraction his body's gonna come. And so he was born at 9 p.m. exactly, right? 85 the head, and then...
The head was out at 8:58.
This is very graphic, the head was out.
And the body was out 2 minutes later, so next contraction, just give him a little time to breathe. And
so in the water, which is funny, because actually it's sort of, they don't start breathing until they're actually all the way out of the water. So you have that moment, you have time when the head is born and you can be underwater. But it is a strange experience, right? Like having to sort of wait.
Counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But it's it works like that, because they live inside the water in the belly. So it's for them they didn't come out yet, I think.
I don't remember, I read about it, but I think it has to do with thermal shock, that when they come out, really out, there's like a thermal shock that initiates the first draw of breath. So if you're in temperature body water, like 37 degrees, that doesn't happen. until you pull them out of the water. So, and then it's important you don't drop them back in. So then, he came out. He was super tranquil. The first thing I think I said was like, he's so beautiful, because he just is very beautiful. He's a spitting image of his father, and he just had the perfect little face, and he was just so, he's calm. He's just the calmest baby ever, which is a real blessing. Our last ones were nice and crying all the way through the night, and
That's
I feel
the
like
difference between girls and boys.
shh, absolute nonsense. So then he was born, and then we got out of the pool, and he latched on like 15 minutes later and started drinking really calmly. And then there's all the aftermath of a birth, which is like you still need to give birth to the placenta, which was huge, by the way. He was like, the midwife even noted, she said like, this is one of the biggest placentas I've ever seen, which is a good sign because it means that he's very strong, and my body did a good job at making him very strong. And then, then there's that sort of weird moment where everything is messy and a bit bloody, and your heart, like you can't really move. I mean, you can move, but it's you as a woman are a bit like, oh, this thing just happened. And then the kids came, and I mean, they also came during the labor a little bit, but I wanted them there to witness some of it. But at some point, I wanted to really zone out, or like zone in, if you will. And then I just told them like, I think it's better if the girls go away again. And then, and then the whole family got to meet him, and we have some really nice photos. We'll be probably overlaying this with some of we didn't film it all like professionally and stuff, so you're getting the behind the scenes, the real raw images. There it is, waiting for you. And that's it. Then I think another 2 hours, so the midwife takes care of you and checks like your pressure and checks the baby, and just basically makes it so that everything is, safe and everybody's good. Or she makes it. She checks if everybody is in a good enough state to just then go into a tranquil night of the new family configuration being, the norm, and being the new reality that we now live in.
Yep.
And that's what we did. And then they left. My mom brought us some beschuiten met blauwe en witte muisjes. That's like Dutch tradition. So you eat like little toast with aniseed sprinkled with white and blue. And then and then we had a really tranquil night. He hardly cried. Yeah. He drank, and then he slept, and then I showered and got myself ready, and then that was it. The birth story, here it is. We're very happy, basically. That's the gist of it all, and it went very well. And I'm unscathed, he's beautiful, he's healthy. He weighs 3 kilos 9/15, and he's about 54 centimeters long. So they don't completely stretch yet, so it was like 52, between 52 and 54. And what else is there to say? He's just perfect.
He's here.
He's here, yeah.